Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic, less known classic. This episode number 2791 and Doubleshot number 2685. Well, for this one we're discussing, two series that basically are, for their particular series, the volume we're discussing both these series are Volume 5 is both, and the last volume to discuss for both. I'm discussing our trade. The other one, I'll discuss that soon. First up, I'm discussing Doom Patrol, Volume 5, which is collected in Doom Patrol Volume 1, Who We Are About to Die, which collects the first 6 issues of this run. Written by the sadly late Keith Giffen. I would love basically to get this one. With artwork by Matthew Clark. Now, there's a backup feature in this book. I don't know if it's collecting the trailer or not. I'm just presuming it probably is. So we'll move on to it. Backup feature features the Middlemen. So, in this particular run, the Doom Patrol are based on an island. They're not based in their Brimstone, New York City, or Gotham, whatever. They're based on an island nation run by Wonder Woman supporting character Veronica Cale. She appears 2 or 3 times throughout later on the book, but this. So we have some other taking on some criminals here. Oh, I should point out though, the Doom Patrol got new costumes. Rita Farr, who is now known as Elasti-Woman in this run. Negative Man's got a new costume, and Cliff. By the way, there's also a time in the Blackest Night issue, so it gets this. So the first issue is taken down. Looks like a group of vampires working with a gorilla. Yes, and by the way, the lineup for this run is interesting to say the least. Let's see if I can find it here. So, for Volume 5, in these issues, we have, to start this book up, we have the Chief, Elasti-Woman, Negative Man, Urban, Nudge, Grunt, Bumblebee. They're joined by Black Hole in issue number 2. They're rejoined by Mento, and that's it. Yeah, Mento, he's here because he wants to be reunited with his wife, who he stalked, according to Niles Cordair, who he's got a goatee in this run. Yeah, he's got a big clunking goatee. Yeah, he's much older now. So we have stuff with Negative Man going on here. And by the way, here's the Chief. That's how Matthew Clark draws him. Where is he? There he is. That's the Chief. Wow, no longer the suit. Yeah, because I think for years people have. The way he's been drawn, it's like he's supposed to be, because Doom Patrol is a pastiche of the X-Men, and the Chief is based upon Charles Xavier, obviously. So you have Rita with Bumblebee, and then the backup feature is mostly put the Middlemen, which is comprised of gold, iron, lead, mercury, tin, copper, who is a female in this run, and, platinum, and later retitled Tina. It's mostly put up their misadventures, and of course, Tina trying to seduce Will Magnum. That's the whole thing in this book, is basically trying to seduce Will Magnum. And he doesn't want anything to do with that, because she's a robot. He is not interested in sleeping with his robots. By the way, the first 3 issues. Yeah, first 3 issues is mostly put the team just going in some missions or exploring themselves over the course of these opening few issues. That's kind of basically the first 3 issues in a nutshell. Issues 4 and 5 are interesting. I love issues 4 and 5. Oh yeah, and 3, Mento comes back. He's still got the grayness here. Mento, the best way to describe him, he's sort of a partial pastiche on Mr. Fantastic. Well, given the fact he's got gray in his hair and the fact he's in love with a hot woman like Rita Farr. Yep. So 4 and 5, I love these issues because it's black as night. So, by the way, we have a new artist for these issues. We have, I can find the credit page here. It's Justino. So, the Black Lantern Corps has revived 3 dead characters from this book. They bring back Madame Rouge, Joshua Calder, and Negative Woman. I'm like, this is interesting. Madame Rouge has been dead since the 1980s, since she got killed off and she died during a battle with Beast Boy in Teen Titans number 15. Joshua Calder got killed by the Chief because he discovered that the Chief was responsible for the accidents that caused the Doom Patrol. Negative Woman, it was that related to... Yeah, and by the way, this woman here, Vanessa, she's the one who actually found the second land that was established in the late 70s. Yeah, so we bring this character... So we have Rita being confronted by Joshua Cordair. Oh, excuse me, Joshua Clay, excuse me. Yes, Tempest. Yes! That is interesting in fact for us with Tempest because here's the weird thing. When Grant Morrison took over the book, he stopped being a superhero. He was basically the team's doctor. Because he's a physician. Madame Rouge, on the other hand, her being confronted by... her confronting a Chief makes total sense because she was obsessed with the Chief for years. Joshua Clay, on the other hand, I'm like... Here's kind of the weird thing with this book. He has never met Rita Farr. By the time he joined Doom Patrol, she had been dead for a long time. By the way, how is she alive in this book? Just by the fact they established the fact that event did happen. Yes, so... Rita is a partial cyborg. Yep. Yeah, she found her skull and basically kind of resurrected that way. Negative Woman goes after Negative Man and Chief. And basically, those are the 3 resurrected. I'm like, that is interesting. I'm like, that's interesting. In fact, to remember these 3 in particular. We have 2 people from the second lineup of Doom Patrol and 1 of the villains. Not General Zal. Not sure why. I'm like, so basically, the Black Lantern Corps brought back 2 dead superheroes and a dead supervillain. Who, if it was read the original Orange Drake run, the Chief was trying to reform her. She died. Actually, before he died. And the weird thing is, and then we have also a 4th one. This is really, really weird. So Cliff Steele is confronted by himself. You're thinking, what? How the heck is Roman confronted by himself? Well, those of you who have forgotten about Roman's backstory, okay, Roman was a race car driver who died in an accident. His brain was one thing to survive, so the Chief put his brain in a robot body. Once the brain himself has some stuff happen to over the years, he's gone through a few different bodies. But as for the original Cliff Steele body, it was buried for a long time, and here it is as a Black Lantern zombie. As for why partial head is not there, because the brain was removed after he died and put in the Clifford Steele's head. Now, okay, I gotta admit, for Keith Giffen, this was a smart move on his part. Who would have thought basically the Black Lantern Corps bring back Cliff Steele's original body? That is ballsy on that part. And you would think, basically, they would bring back more dead characters associated with the Doom Patrol. Like, I don't know, like, Dorothy, one who Cliff... I guess the reason why they'll bring back her, Dorothy Spinner, probably because her death was very peaceful. That's my guess. Probably the reason why he didn't want to do anything with that. But you think, okay, what about General Zal? He probably didn't want to. But these are very interesting choices to bring back, because if anybody's read the Outsiders tie-in, who they brought back was, simply put, Katana's dead children, and they also brought back Terra, who was also previously seen in the Titans tie-in, and they even brought back Katana's husband. Yes. So I do like some choices they make here. Now, they do kind of, with Teen Titans, they had Deathstroke, Joseph, and Rose take on basically a bunch of dead zombies. One of whom happens to be his oldest son, Grant, who died back in issue 2 of Teen Titans. But at least got handed to Keith Giffen for this. I'm a little surprised than anybody else. I mean, Cliff Steele is a ballsy move. Like, if you think, like, who else could they brought back? They could have brought back anybody. I mean, it is... Now, I get why Joshua Clay comes back, but why doesn't he go after the Chief? There's something really weird about this tie-in. Like, why would he not go after the Chief? He's the man who murdered him! He shot him! And yet, doesn't go after him. He goes after Elastigirl, who he never met. At least Negative Man being a friend of Negative Woman makes sense. Cliff being confronted by himself makes sense. But Joshua Clay, who would have thunk it? But Blackest Night is one of my favorite crossovers. I always like who they bring back for the story. But I'm like, that's it? That's all they bring back is basically 4 people? Like, 2 people who died in Volume 2, 1 person who died in Teen Titans, and another person who died before the events of the series. You know, also interesting they brought him back, these people, because they just died? What if the Black Lanterns always brought back the brain of Monsieur Mala? That would have been interesting. But no, Keith Giffen didn't want to do that. Not sure why. Plus, you gotta love this cover here. This cover reminds me of, like, I'm trying to think. It reminds me of, like, an old Superman cover. But these 2 issues are pure fun. Great tie-ins for Blackest Night. And it's only 2 issues, which is surprising. The final issue is mostly put the aftermath. Also, Cliff gets new robot body. It's black again, first time since the 80s. This issue is mostly focused on Negative Man. It's basically on his backstory, on what he is. And then we focus on Cliff. And we have a flashback to the second Doom Patrol. Oh, do you know who they also got brought back? How about Chief's wife? Yes, that would be interesting. But no, they bring her back. I'm not sure why. It's like the recap of the Doom Patrol's history of this book. Which, then we have like a thing where it's like, oh, like, this is I love this. I love these white uniforms they wear. And the book ends a pretty happy note. And excuse me. But that's pretty much it here with this one. Yeah, pure enjoyment. Love this book. I give this book a 10 out of 10. And I have only 2 more trades to discuss for this book, and that's it. Alright, next up we have is Aquaman by Peter David, book number 2, which collects... Now, I thought the last book collected issue 9. This book does. It collected issues 9 through 20 and the first annual for the series. Oop, oop, oop. So, in these issues, first we have year 1. The first ever annual for Aquaman. Yep, it is mostly put a little bit of recap of Aquaman's backstory. That's mostly put exactly what the year 1 annual is. It's a bridge retelling of his history post-crisis. And of course, him meeting Superman for the first time, which is interesting. Does me anything else in this book? Well, of course, Mira, obviously. But that's all he does here. Of course, the book ends with him basically with his hook on his hand. And then mostly we have him confronting like various organizations. By the way, Peter Davis in the writing here with Joe Sapri, one of the issues. We have fight Cobra in one issue, him with Dolphin. Yes. And then there's this let's see. Then the next issue, basically the book becomes sort of a team-up book. Like in issue 10, he meets up with Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern. And he's not the only one that pops up in this book. So we have Superman in the annual. We have Kyle Rayner make a guest star appearance. He's not the only one. Excuse me. Yes, and aside from the return of Aquaman's son, basically, well, some exit stuff here with someone's funeral. Yep. And of course, well, Keita One Track Club is his heritage. And then, like, Aquaman takes Dolphin to have sex. Yes, seriously. After talking to Vanko. Yeah. MC Illusion himself. And then, of course, they have sex. And then the issue ends with Mira's return. Yes. First time she's written in present day since the previous volume. Yes. And then we see this guy here who looks like Aquaman. This is actually Tintaris, who Mira thought was Aquaman when she slept with him. And they have a son together. Yes. Oh, and knows who knows what the costume he's wearing. Yeah, it's a stealth suit for Volume 2. Yeah, so I do think it's quite funny that Dolphin like puts on. And then we see the merman who looks exactly like Namor. Yeah, tell me that does not look like Namor. And then we briefly see Dolphin butt naked. She basically gets rid of the clothes she has since her debut appearance. And then she just, well, puts on this golden dress, which apparently is probably from Mira's wardrobe. Not much. I'm nearly naked. Yep. And of course you have Aquaman swimming by, then Mira, and then you have, I think it's Aquaman swims back, he just grabs Dolphin in this comic flash, like, whoops, let's bring Dolphin. Yes. And this Titanus guy. And then find him in the arena. We have this joking stuff here with this one with that. And then we have a tie-in to Underworld. Yep, issue 14 is a tie-in to Underworld. Yeah. And then we do Poseidon issue number 15 of the book. Yep. Yeah, 15. Come on, seriously. Yeah. And then, of course, Atlantis rises to surface. Yep, where the bottom of it looks like a giant skull. Yeah, that does look that creepy. Yes, it's the artist. And then, of course, next issue, Justice League America show up. Which, this is basically Wonder Woman when she's part of the group. Yep, Dolphin, meaning a dolphin. How cute. And then we see Ice. Fire. This is actually Ice Maiden. Fire. Guy Gardner Warrior. And Martian Manhunter. Yep. So. and Aquaman's being respectful. And this thing like, oh yeah, grab his hand. It's coming off. Like, what? And it's basically a hook. Yep. Aquaman fights the new Justice League, and then like, yep. Then the artwork gets really weird because they replaced the artwork gets odd. Jim Carrey, his artwork is weird. We have this weird bat-like person who hangs out with Aquaman in these next few issues. We still do with appearance by just the Justice League America. And we do more so with Dolphin. Here's this mysterious creature who's kind of very feminine. Don't identify that female, just basically hangs out with Aquaman. And then issue 18 ends with the return of Ocean Master. First time since Time and Tide. Yep. So Aquaman confronts him, tells him, yeah, I'm your brother. He's like, I have your brother. And it's unconvincing, he does admit the fact he is actually his brother. Yeah, and then Aqualad returns. Yes, finally in his Tempest garb. He's aged up. Like, did it take this long to realize, though, that Aqualad is now Tempest now? Yeah. But really interesting stuff here. And then we have like something break out of the ice, and that's how the book ends. And that's a really fun book. And I have only 29 issues left to go for Peter David's run for this book, along with 3 annuals. Yeah, he did the first 4 annuals of the book, and that was it. But this book in particular was amazing. And this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Fantastic. So, next time I discuss this book will be the omnibus. I'll be finished up with Peter David's Aquaman. For Doom Patrol, 2 trades, and, well, 1 trade and another thing for it, and that's it. Yep. So, yeah, that's particularly a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and tune into the segment. Stay tuned for a stream I'm doing with my friend Jay Heat. Okay? Thanks, you. Bye.